We looked at all programs throughout the campus as part of the budget process to see where we can find some possible ways to lower our expenditures or increase our revenues. For the last 3 years, revenues throughout the whole county on the tax base has been going down, which hurts the college's revenue base. The state contribution has reduced over the last 3 years. So we've been having to increase tuition on students over the last 3 years, and it's been a fairly significant increase for students. So as part of our review of the budget, we're trying to find those places where we could either increase revenues or decrease expenditures. So that was the long part of the short answer is, as far as Brown and Gold, Brown and Gold costs $250,000 a year for free credit classes. So that was one spot to look at and to see what are some opportunities there that we can maybe adjust or change for the budget process. The other is part of programming is we spend X number of dollars for programming, and they pay a membership for the privileges of the programming and also getting the free class. So we wanted to look at that and look at it very deeply. Anytime you're talking about raising tuition for students, we want to do our due diligence to make sure that we're not taking advantage of the students any more than they're paying now. Right now you pay about 24% of what it costs to provide the education to you. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's part of the figures that we have. There's only a couple ways you can change a budget, and one of those is to increase tuition. So that's what the board did, or is probably going to do here soon. But as I said, we just wanted to make sure that we're doing every possible spot to look at things, and Brown and Gold was one of those things. One of many things that we looked at across the campus to see how we could reduce some cost. It was probably a little too soon to make a major change in that program, and we wanted to work with their advisory group to find some options that maybe they could come up with to help out. So we're going to take the next few months and visit with the advisory group of Brown and Gold and help them help us find some options to relieve some of the stress on the budget and not have to continue to increase tuition to students at the rate that we're doing right now. When you say final decision, I would say it's more of this is the decision right now. We're going to continue to look at it and like I said, work with the advisory group, and I think they're going to come up with some good options to help reduce the programming cost, or at least balance the budget there, and then give us some options as far as the credit classes, and because they understand that it costs the college quite a bit of money. And if we can relieve that pressure a little bit, that's going to help all the way around. For Brown and Gold members, you're talking about a population that's 55 plus, and more than likely, not in every case, but more than likely, they don't have anybody taking classes here at the college. So they're all Johnson Countyans paying taxes and getting little benefit from the institution. So one of those things is if they take a free class on the last day of enrollment when classes are open, it just seemed like, when we first did it, it seemed like a decent benefit to allow people to take. And it has been for over 20 years. But the way the Kansas statute reads right now, we have to balance our budget, so every free class we have to put into the budget, and that comes out of our budget at some point. We're looking at those options and seeing if there's different ways of doing it. And if there's a different rate that we could charge them at a reduced cost, but still provide a good benefit for the Brown and Gold members, that's what we would like to do. But again, the advisory group will, I think they'll come up with some options for us that can help. I suspect there will be some changes, at least in 13-14, if not 12-13. I'm not going to say that there's not going to be any changes at all coming up, but right now we're saying that it's as is, and it gives us a little time more to visit with the advisory group. We had prepared some information, and some of that information did get out to a few people, but when we visited with the advisory group and we talked about, okay, here's some possibilities, what do you think, and got their input, we kind of backed up a little bit and said, okay, we need to visit about this a little bit more and come up with some more viable options. So it was never really released to anybody at any time on purpose or in general. When we would have communicated with the brown and gold group, it would have been at one time in a mass mailing or some type of communication. But that never did happen. Brown and Gold Club has been around for over 20 years. It's got a membership of 4,000 plus members, not all of which take credit classes, not all of which take continuing education classes, and not all of which involved with the trips or activities at any one time. So it's spread out across the year, and they do pay a membership fee to be a part of the group. And they've been a part of the college for a long, long time, and we value that relationship. So we want to be able to find a way to keep that relationship going and also make it viable for the college to maintain those programs, activities, and course offerings. It was originally done, and I was around when we originally put together this club. The idea of having a senior member of the community in a classroom of young students just seemed like a good idea to have as far as discussion enhancements. Think of the experience that somebody could bring to discussions in certain topics when they have lived it and seen it for many years, much beyond the other people in the classroom. So that's still very viable, and I think that happens on a fairly regular basis. So that's what I would add to this, is that there is value there, and we want to maintain that value somehow.